Air spam is everywhere in this meta that you do not have to worry about defending ground armies. If you can just defend most air armies, you'll have a clear advantage over other players and even get to the top 1%. To help you with that, I've got an anti-air base for TH14 this time. We just crossed 7,000 subscribers thanks to you awesome people. I have a surprise for you if we hit 10K soon. I believe you guys would help me too. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Alright, now let's get started with the base analysis. This TH14 base is a diamond-style anti-3-star layout, and since it's an anti-air base, if you followed my previous anti-air base videos, you might already know some of the tricks used to stop these attacks. I'll link those videos if you want to check them out. But this base has some cool anti-air setups too, so make sure to watch till the end. Now the first big thing, limiting giant arrow value. I always say this, the giant arrow should never take down more than 2 defenses. If it clears 3, that's already too much. And when I say buildings, I mean air defenses and sweepers. Those are the 2 most important defenses against air troops. So in this base, everything is placed in a way that makes it nearly impossible for the giant arrow to take out 3 key buildings at once. Next, let's talk about a common mistake, thinking that only air defenses matter against air spam. That might be true for lower town halls like TH10 and below, but at higher levels, that's not the case. Here you have Eagle artillery, scatter shots, inferno towers, and more, all working together to stop air attacks. This base has a triple inferno setup right in the core, protected by sweepers. This setup is amazing because it can handle both single troops and groups of troops. The single target inferno melts dragons one by one, while the 2 multi-target infernos fry groups of them. And since they're backed up by nearby defenses like scatter shots and archer towers, the damage is brutal. And here's something many attackers won't notice, the builder huts in the core. All 5 of them are there, and they deal damage like mini archer towers. It's extra chip damage that makes a big difference. On top of that, almost all 4 heroes are covering the core, which means the dragons get distracted while taking heavy fire. Now, if you're wondering why all the bows are set to ground instead of air, you should definitely check out my TH14 anti-air base video. I explained it in detail there. It might not seem meaningful at first, but trust me. Once you see why, you'll start setting all your bows to ground in every base you have. Also, look at the core. There aren't too many defenses packed together. That's super important. Electro dragons won't get much chain value, meaning more defenses stay up, leading to more damage on the E-drags. And spread out bases like this are great against super archer blimps and super wizard blimps. Those are very common at TH14, but since the defenses are spaced out, they won't get much value. Even zap spells won't be as effective. One more thing, the fireball also won't get much value here, but I won't go deep into that since this is mainly an anti-air base, and fireball is used mostly just in ground armies. Now, let's talk about the town hall itself. Before we jump into the replays, I want to mention that I didn't include any defenses against RC walk dragons. The reason is simple. TH14 has the Giga poison, unlike TH17. If you want a full breakdown on that, check out the TH16 video I mentioned earlier. It'll give you a ton of useful insights, and that wraps up the base analysis. Now let's see how the top air armies perform against this base. First up, we have a classic dragon spam attack. The giant arrow gets some solid value, clearing a sweeper and a defense. All the dragons are sent in from the right side, with the blimp heading straight for the town hall. At first, everything looks good. The blimp troops even manage to take down the town hall. But then things start falling apart. The dragons in the core are getting absolutely melted by the triple inferno combo and the defending CC troops. Meanwhile, most of the dragons are stuck away from the eagle artillery, taking heavy damage. The royal champion is sent in from the left side, but she's completely on her own. With no support, she gets wrecked before she can take out anything important. The remaining troops don't stand a chance. The Eagle and back-end defenses clean them up easily. Now onto the second hit, Super Archer Blimp Dragons. The attacker sends in the blimp, and thanks to the Hound, it reaches a deep spot inside the base. No giant bombs in the area to stop the Super Archers, but they still don't get much value. If you think they got a lot, just look at how many spells have been used so far. The attacker is already out of spells, but only 18% of the base is gone. That means the rest of the troops have to do all the heavy lifting without any spell support. Honestly, I can already tell this is going to be a defense. Just watch how bad it gets, especially with the Eagle still standing at the back end. Now for the third hit, we have Hydra spam. This time, the attacker sends everything straight into the town hall. The town hall goes down easily, but the troops get split up badly, and that ruins the attack. The dragons can't push deep enough into the base, and the core is still intact. At this point, all that's left is the Royal Champion, and she's facing way too many defenses to make a difference. Another easy defense. Next up, Electro Dragons. Just like the previous attack, they're sent directly into the town hall. This time, they stay grouped and push into the core. The Warden's ability even gets nice value, keeping them alive a bit longer. But here's the problem. The Sweeper is constantly slowing them down and pushing them away from the core. And if you pay attention, their chain damage barely does anything since the defenses are spread out. In the end, the Queen and Royal Champion try to grab some extra percentage, but the attack still finishes at a super low percent. I've got one more replay to show, a second Super Archer Blimp Dragons attack. The blimp lands in a great spot, and this time, the attacker sets up a solid funnel with support from the heroes. Honestly, this is a great start. But even with this much value, the Town Hall and Eagle are still standing. That leaves the attacker with a tough choice. Go in from the Eagle side and risk a 2-star, or attack from the Town Hall side and take heavy damage. He chooses the second option, and it turns out to be the worst decision. With no spells left, the dragons barely get 30% of the base. And to be specific, all they really take out is the town hall compartment. Everything else is just trash buildings. That's all the replays for this base. As you can see, it completely shuts down air spam attacks, forcing attackers into tough situations where they just get low percent 2-star or 1-star hits. If you want similar defenses, copy the base link from the description and let me know how it performs for you. If you need more base layouts, I'll attach some in the end card. I'll see you in the next one.